Lily, many students are headed back to school today, and it's important to make sure that you and your family are taking the proper precautions to make sure that your child doesn't get the flu. Joining me today is Dr. Lisa Keswick from Barrington Pediatrics, happens to be my son Charlie's pediatrician, and with what parents should know. Good morning, Dr. Keswick. You know, kids are heading back to school this week, and teachers, parents, I keep hearing people are there's anxiety over heading back to school and that your kids are no longer in this bubble that you can protect them from. So what do they need to know about preventing the flu this year?
Well, we're certainly getting a lot of questions about that in the office. Almost every visit, parents are asking about influenza and H1N1 flu in particular. The best things to do are to work on preventing this H1N1 flu.
Typical stuff?
Yeah, basic stuff. The three basic tenets are wash your hands and wash them well and regularly, especially before you bring your hands up to your mouth. To teach children to cough into their elbow instead of into their hands again.
That's kind of new, because when we were growing up, it was coughing into your hands, but now I always see these little ones
coughing in their elbows. And it helps prevent the germs from spreading to their hands and then spreading to other people.
Now, what about the vaccines this year? Because there's a lot of questions. Are they going to be here in time? How many shots are we going to get? And who's first in line?
Well, the seasonal influenza vaccine we're expecting in early September, and that's the traditional influenza vaccine that people always think of. In terms of the H1N1 flu vaccine, we're not 100% sure. The Rhode Island Department of Health is devising a plan to come up with who should be first in line. We're expecting several million doses at the end of October, and those will probably go to the people most at risk, 6-month to 2-year-olds, and people with heart disease, pulmonary disease, or diabetes.
How can parents know whether their kids have just a typical case of the flu or H1N1?
It's really difficult. They're very similar. Luckily, most cases of H1N1 are mild self-limited illnesses, fevers, coughs, sore throats, the same thing we see with many regular viruses that aren't even influenza.
So do parents need to be afraid sending their kids back in?
I don't think they need to be afraid. They need to keep their children home, certainly, if they've had keep them home for 24 hours after they've had a fever, again, to help prevent the spread of the disease. But I don't think there's need for great fear at this point.
So the word from your office is that you will have the vaccines available here within the next several weeks, and patients can come in and get them?
That's what we're expecting. Again, the Rhode Island Department of Health has a wonderful website, and they have a whole section devoted to H1N1 flu. And so since we receive our vaccines from the Department of Health, that's a great resource to check out for the most recent data.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Keswick, for joining us, and I'll get Charlie in there for his shot, I'm sure, within a couple of weeks. To find out more about flu shots for you and your family, just head over to our website, foxprovidence.com. Sean, over to you.
Michelle, thank you so much.